I'll call the meeting to order. And do we have any public comment? Nobody on? Nobody likes us.
Yeah.
Okay. I need a motion for the approval of the minutes. Are there any corrections or concerns? If not,
I'm okay with the minutes
okay. And
of August 12th.
right, approval of the minutes of August 12th. Right?
Did I hear Pat move to approve?
Yes,
Second.
There's Linda.
There's Linda.
Hi.
Sorry, I had the wrong password, but I'm in now.
Okay.
Oh, good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, we just passed the minutes approved.
Okay, thanks.
And Pat was the made the motion
And Ray seconded it.
seconded it.
Okay, great.
Okay. So we start with Patty right away, the important part.
Okay. Yes, so we have September warrants today that total $18,944.73. The total for payroll is $21,695.83. That includes Chief Carlton's salary of $5,278.50 and Chief Shields' pay of $3,083.33. And there was one event for each of the commissioners and the secretary. The total payout for the volunteers, warrants included, is $12,606. So I believe you have the August financial statements have been handed out for your review. So today we're just requesting a motion for the warrants and payroll to be approved as presented.
I make a motion that we accept the payrolls and warrants as they were presented.
I second.
And I would agree. So that's passed. I do, I want to make a comment, or maybe Chief Shields is going to, but on the credit card, this is an amount that has been accrued over time for all of the firefighters to have their COVID testing. And the chief is having them tested once a month. Is that right?
Yes, it is. Moving forward.
Once a month.
Moving forward,
So
it's
they
once a
all
month.
at least. I'm sorry.
Moving forward, starting now, it's once a month.
Once a month. But we were doing it a little more frequently in the beginning.
We were
At any rate, this is that bill that has been submitted to us.
Yeah, we were doing it every 2 weeks. Now we're doing it moving forward once a month.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving along. The rest of the report.
Before you move on, Patty, at my end, your audio was breaking up, so I didn't get the actual numbers of the warrants and payroll that were approved. If you could just repeat those for me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, the warrants were $18,944.73 and payroll was $21,695.83. Great.
Thanks.
Yeah, and then I also have an update for the budget remaining as of August 31st, 2020. There is 48.62% remaining in the budget, and that is in comparison to 46.36 as of the same time last year. Chief Carlton did want me to make a note to you also to let you know that the district will be getting back about $3,000 from 2 EMTs that ended up recently getting hired as career that are going to be unable to fulfill their commitment to the district. And then also that 2% will probably drop at the end of October due to us paying the annual district liability insurance policy in October. So he just wanted me to mention that to you. And I believe that's it.
Yeah,
Thank
so,
you.
so we have,
Are there any questions?
sorry, so we have received those funds back from those 2 firefighters that were hired.
We have,
We
okay.
have. I haven't made the deposit yet, I just got them
have.
yesterday, so I will make that deposit probably tomorrow.
Okay, and Chief Carlton, as a side note, he has the Visa rebate check also, since I don't have the deposit slips directly.
Okay.
And I'm not sure about if the county is open or not yet,
Okay.
so he is bringing that back to you tomorrow to add to that, so just let me know.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Patty, on the audit, is there anything that we need to know about that? at this
I
point?
don't believe so at this time. This last week was kind of a lull time with Chief Carlton being out of town. Dina Garza at the auditor's office, she told me that I know that she had spoken with you, being the chairperson. So we are going to be getting geared up now that it's after Labor Day, probably next week. Chief Carlton told me today that he'll be in contact with her, let her know that he's back in town, and then we'll get going. So, short of answering a few questions, they'll be diving in here real soon.
Good, thank you. Any questions of Patty? Okay. Thank you, Patty, very much.
Welcome.
This is great having Zoom. We get to see you every month.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of a bittersweet thing now, right?
Yeah, it is. Okay, the next item is correspondence. So any correspondence, Chief?
No correspondence, no.
Okay. How about the Chief's report?
Chief's report, okay, you've already met our points of interest, you've already talked about the audit that's happening. As far as the community COVID testing, we've done 627 people have been tested, and we have 0 positives of any of the people who've had tested. There are nothing on apparatus. The roster is 44 members, 23 which are Canadian, 11 Point Roberts, 10 county. Of that, 5 are paramedics. We have 10 EMTs, which 6 of them are advanced EMTs, 2 ambassadors, and 37 firefighters. The total volunteer hours for last month were 2,547. And if everybody was getting paid, the volunteer payroll payout would be $15,959. We had 19 calls last month. We did 8 EMS calls. We had 1 transport to St. Joe's, 5 no transports, 1 to North Whatcom, and 1 to Medic 45. We also had 5 community paramedic classifications. Fire, we had 1 illegal burn, 1 false alarm, 2 structure fires, 1 grass fire up at the golf course on the driving range, and 1 propane leak. And that is my chief's report.
Any questions?
No,
Okay, thank you. Any unfinished business? All right, moving right along. We're ready for Mr. Kelly.
Well, again, welcome to 2020. Kelly here with Kelly Insurance Agency, your broker representative for the Emergency Services Insurance Program. And as I always address, honorable commissioners, Virginia, Ray, Patrick, and then Chief, and our 2 secretaries are, I get them mixed up, one's finance, and I get it. Patty's finance, Sharon must be recording.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, and thanks for allowing me to Zoom in. I was thinking about it today, like, I got to do business, and then still be back here. This is my office in Everson, and I have good internet, and I got some help. I got a new camera, so white shirt and that. Thank you for having me. I'll be brief. We have before you the renewal for your fire district insurance protection, which protects all your property, your vehicles, your equipment, and also, of course, you as professionals, so as commissioners, and your entire staff and volunteers. So with that said, it's the package, and if you had a chance to review, I believe it was forwarded to you for this meeting so that you'd have it in front of you. Some of what we had there, I'd like to say, is what Chief Carlton and I would normally do after the meeting, after it's been approved or otherwise. So try not to, there's a lot of terrorism disclosure and some of these statements of values and things that we have to go through. But at the end of the day, I'm proud to say, well, it's covering your district for the property values at $3,752,268. So, in more simple terms, $3.75 million worth of values there. The fleet of vehicles, much more value, of course, and as you well know, we have those on replacement costs. This program creates some of the best when it comes to protection. And as you well know, when claims are filed, they answer to them. So I just want to be sure that you recognize that there's an increase in the property values, which is an inflation card, and for your a lot to be said with your geographic location. But at the end of the day, we've had an increase. It's up $1,182 from last year. The total price this year, $29,714 for all lines, which include business auto, commercial property, crime, your general liability. It's got terrorism risk insurance act is included in there. As you know, you can always opt out of that. Then there's also the emergency apparatus, which is all your vehicles, your portable equipment, and of course the commercial umbrella. So with that said, it's a package that protects the district for all of those things that you could become legally liable for. And in the inland marine section, that's the all risk section. In the property, we have earthquake. It consists of direct physical loss, which is fire and lightning, wind, accumulation, ice, snow, all the vandalism, malicious mischief, anything to do with people-caused stuff. But technically, that hazard insurance is protecting your buildings, and that's important. We look at those deductibles are all in there so that you know what it at the time of the loss. We typically this program has pretty low deductibles. So if there was any need for money saving or otherwise, we look at higher deductibles. Although we don't often recommend that because the saving often outweighs the at the time of the loss. With that, I encourage you to ask me any questions that you may have. In detail, I could answer. And if I don't have the answers, as you know, tomorrow's another day, and I can talk to Lisa Maritone, who's our underwriter down here in the beautiful state of California, and she can help us. So I talked to her a couple of times on this renewal, just to make sure we had everything in order. And so as you all know, it renewed on September 1st. There was a myriad of forces controlling our appearance here, and so I'm just pleased to say we're here. We have you bound and covered, and so I'm here to make sure that we can answer your questions and to ask that you approve this next year's insurance package for 2020 and 2021. And carry forward, we appreciate all you do in the community, and missed out on getting to Point Roberts this year, but I have a way, and I know where you're at, and I have a friend that has a boat. So don't be surprised if I show up, I'm going to look like this.
Okay, you can come.
Get you some of those. But that's the world we live in the world of risk. And my heart goes out to you as professionals, and especially to the first responders there, chiefs. Thank you for getting in the line of fire. I have to note that with our fire districts that I respond with, I have 2 extra totes of personal protective gear that I carry with me at all times. So.
Thank you,
Hope I
Tony.
don't have to use it, but thank you. Any questions, please?
Boy, this is a dull group today.
Hello.
I wish I could see Patrick, at least.
Well, we can we badger you a little bit? No?
Tony, I infer from what you said that, our cost last year, was approximately, 28,600, is that ballpark?
I had 28,532 on the note.
32.
I'm looking at the record here on our, so, yeah, 28,532. This year, we're at 29,714. And so, and what I mentioned, wanted to mention, Ray, is that increase is literally the inflation guard of the building and the contents. And that's why each year it increases by, I believe it's 2%. And so we're seeing, that kind of a rate transpire into the bottom line. So the building values are up. And on the page, we have the station is at $3,350,239, and then your personal property inside the building, which is all the contents, and it's 402,029. So upstairs, downstairs, the whole everything's covered. So flood and earthquake, you have $1,000 deductible for if there's a loss by either of those. Otherwise, just so you know, they typically separate those coverages and limit it, but not in this program. They put the whole amount on the line for both flood and earthquake.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Well, shall we vote on it?
Indeed.
Okay, step up, Ray.
I move that the insurance coverage for 2020-2021 as presented by Mr. Kelly for $29,714 be approved.
Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Is there any further discussion? If not, it's approved. I had a question, Chief.
Yes?
You mentioned that we have 11 residents of Point Roberts who are now on the fire
We have
lines.
11 Point Roberts residents, yes.
Is that higher than it's ever been, or is that about the same?
It's a little bit higher. We've acquired
so.
We've acquired a couple of new people that are living here. One of them is actually out working on the fire line right now. She is a wildland firefighter helicopter pilot. So she has 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So she's actually out on the line right now. And then we have Chardon, who is working at one of the parcel services while they're closed. So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really great. That helps a little bit with coverage.
It does during the day. Basically, our Monday to Friday night is our weak point.
Great. Anything else that we need to cover? Thank you, Chief.
No problem.
May I have a motion to adjourn then?
Yeah, this is Pat Harper. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second the motion.
At 16:40? Right, no, 16:20.
16:20.
Sorry, looked at my watch wrong. That's remarkably short meeting for a lot of things. Thank you for coming, or joining us, Tony, and we appreciate your services. And thank you all for joining. Good meeting.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank you.
assume we are adjourned.